Alright, hello everybody. This is Metalphase doing a cast. This is an older replay on, I believe this is Slutsk West? I'm not sure which part of Slutsk this is, but it is Slutsk. We have Loli on the left side playing the 5th Panzer on Maverick Income. I've never seen this combination before. And we have Frubblord, or Frubblord, playing as Vanguard Income, 1st Polish Division to the right. This will be a really interesting matchup here between a really tank-heavy, two tank-heavy decks, but one has the clear heavy tank advantage. And really wondering if we're going to see Loli really take advantage of the heavy tanks out in the open to the south. With the amount of Tigers that you get with the 5th Panzer, this should be really the clear alternative for whenever something goes wrong in the city side. You can always just march your Tigers through this area, provided there is no heavy AT on Frublord's side. But anyway, let's go into the deck selection and check it out. See what each player decided to pick for each of their tabs. Alright, so we're taking a look at Loli's deck, which is the 5th Panzer on Maverick Income. I'm going to be a little bit skeptical here because this is a really, really old patch. So I'm not sure how much of this is original to the original deck, but I think we'll get the general idea of his deck. We see from the Recon tab, the 20mm cannon half tracks and the Panther B in Phase B. A very regular infantry tab. He's using all of his Panzerfaust infantry in the later phases. He does have a C phase card of Panzer Grenadiers. Interesting decision to put it on a Maverick deck. Maybe put, I don't know what kind of specialized infantry he has. He has the Sturm Pioneers, which are kind of bad. So yeah, not really much choice here. It's not like he can really put in more stuff in Phase B, so might as well get that C phase card of infantry. In terms of the tanks, we see. Let me just take a check. Yeah, so the 5th Panzer, really good deck in terms of the tank composition, but they don't have the Sturm, or rather, they don't have the Yak Panzer IVs. And so he's going to be using the Panzer IVHs here, and they are very, very attention. What do you call? They require a lot of attention. You want to keep these in the optimal engagement because they only have 75mm of frontal armor, which is pretty much nothing. Even a 45mm cannon will have a decent chance on even standard AP shells at penetrating this tank. You want to keep them really far away to get the most use out of their KWK 40L 48 cannon. I mean, it's a great cannon. It's the same as a Stug, I believe. We don't have anything for comparison, but I mean, it's a 135mm penetration. I mean, it's like, in terms of armament, it's great. It's just the armor profile and the fact that the turret is very slow makes this a very hard tank to really micro well. So he has 2 of them in Phase A, both of 1 vet. 2 Phase A cards of Tiger E's, and then a card of Tiger E's in B and Panther G's, and another Panzer IVH card in B. He has his grills in Phase C. That must be a mistake because, or if it not, it is a mistake. This should be. He really needs these in B or A or something, because you're not going to be wasting 80 points on grills when one grill takes up the majority of your 1 minute income, or your income for every minute. So this should be, I don't know, if I were to rearrange this for Maverick income, this should really be a phase B, phase A card. Otherwise, pack 36, pack 40s, decent anti-air, decent artillery options, although he does not have any immediate artillery support in terms of like mortars, which is something that you get a lot of with the 5th Panzer. And then it's kind of a luxury that he's not taking to use here, electing to use the 105mm off map. I get that the idea is to win very early and you want to get something very devastating to really pin down the entire area, rush in, and get the quick flag advantage, but it's, I don't know, leaving the artillery to be, especially when you don't have anything in your air tab here as well, and you don't have anything really substantial in your support tab in terms of explosive power. It's kind of a rough combination, but we'll see. We have the Dornier 215 recon plane. Unfortunately, it has no offensive armaments. It's only defensive. I wonder why he's taking it. I guess he's just to get that quick look at the beginning deployment. So, all right. And we have the rest. We have, I believe these are not the these are not the anti-tank versions. These are merely the close air support versions of the ME410, which are still decent, but yeah, they have the 30mm cannons instead of the 20mm cannon. So anyway, nothing really too impressive with the air tab, which is not really something that the 5th Panzer is really known for anyways. So very interesting deck. Let's take a look at the other deck. Next we have Frubblord with the first, no idea how to pronounce that, but it's the 1st Polish division. Really excellent division, really one of the best offensive decks in the Soviet arsenal, and perhaps even in the game. 4 Su-57s, amazing. You know, the T-34-76 1941's pretty good. That's as much as you really need from the recon, but he's getting some extra vehicle spam that he can make use of. And the Su-57s are really great, although you can get 2 of them with 2 vet or 3 of them in 1 vet. It really makes a difference there. But he's going to have none unvetted. Sappers, Strelky DPs, essentially. The disheartened Strafniki squads, essentially. Really good, really great infantry deck as well. He has these really interesting SVT squads. Really like the Kazaki SVTs, but less men. But you get the bazooka there. Really great unit there. We have more sappers, more disheartened Strafnikis, and finally a Strelky DP equivalent unit there. Nothing to really complain about. He has the leader there as well, I forgot to mention. In the tank tab, as a Vanguard deck, he's going heavy on the T-34s in the beginning and kind of balancing things out with the T-70, T-34E. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with any kind of combination of these tanks, because you just get so much of them, no matter where you place them. Frankly, for me, like in my deck, I like to use the T-70s first and just have 1 T-34E, I believe, in phase A, and the rest I just put in B and C respectively. And you get just so many T-34s, it's ridiculous. It's almost as, I think you don't get as much as Turina, but you still get a really good amount. We have flamethrower squads. It looks, I think this is the SG-43. No, it's a Maxim gun, so it's kind of crappy. Kind of really sad that the Maxim gun is not really respected in this game. It's a really great gun in real life, at least historically, and it's not really Well, okay, whatever. We have an infantry support gun, a combat. All right. Um, not a lot of AT guns actually. Instead, we have six AT gun, 45 millimeters, three 76, and we have a PTRS, three PTRS squads at double vet, an SU 76. Really going for the mobile AT capability. It looks like, and an SU 85. So it looks like he really wants to get the win really early, and really mobile there. Um, he has really decent. Well, it's pretty decent anti-air tab. I don't really particularly like the 85 mils, but I think you can make them work. Um, yeah, these should be good enough to cover the entire battlefield here. And we have the two cards, one an A, one B of the 122 millimeter howitzers, and finally we see three Yak 1Bs, two IL-2s, a cluster bomber, and more cluster bomber slash bomber for the phase B. And that's about it for Frub's deck, and let us go on to the game. Alright, and we are back, and let us look at the deployments. It looks like Loli is going to have Battery Fear, two Flammenwerfers, Pioneer, another Pioneer, and two 20mm half tracks, all deploying to the far south side, going really aggressive for the early, well, not so early, but the unprotected flank. This is a hard flank to protect at the beginning, as if you're Soviets and you don't have specifically you don't have jeeps shuttling your heavy AT or your light AT or your support weapons, you're not going to be able to get the first shot onto the vehicles on this road. So potentially we're going to see Loli try to get the point advantage here first. It looks like countering that we have a very simple force of 276 Ziz 3 guns and two Strelky DP squads. Looks like two Strelky DP squads, one of which in the forest, one on the far south corner of the city, and the two Ziz guns, one in the city, one in the green forest there. In the middle, and it doesn't look like we'd have much of a mill for Frubblord because of how the spawn points work, but we have four Flammenwerfers, two MG42s, a Pack 36, a Tigery, and another Pack 36. Taking a look at the Flammenwerfers, they're going to be placed very aggressively, going for the cap here as well. So we're going to try to. Loli's going to attempt the double cap here in phase A, and he has the transport advantage compared to the forget the name of the transport. I think it was a Studebaker who only have 70km/h speed. So this could potentially work out for him. Two MG42s, one in the central camp, and one in the other camp here. So protecting the two flags there with the MG42 is not a bad call. We have a Pack 36 going to be deployed, potentially to stop any push of light vehicles into the road here. And the other one, actually we're going to see two Pack 36s deployed nearby each other, maybe going up on the ridge there. And the Tiger E marching straight forward there. So really early with the heavy tank push out in the open thing, or strategy. Really interesting combination. Looks like he really wants to pick up the win from the south rather than through the city, and that's really the forte of the of the 5th Panzer. It's pretty much the only thing they got going for them, really. To the north, let's do all of this all at once for Frubblord. We have three Strelky DPs and a 45mm tank gun, anti-tank gun being deployed here. The rest of the squads to these two forests. We have all three, let's see, two of the PTRS squads, one trying to make it to the camp there, one in the central church, and we have 4 Strelki DP squad, or 3 of them, and the Strefniki disheartened Polish troops deployed in that position there. And 2 T-34Es deployed to get some shots down the road, I believe. Yeah. And finally, we have a leader up north, a couple of sappers and Strelki DP squads, and the Su-57 going to be taking up position there for the flanking shots into the city. Is he going to be flanking anything here? Not really. Looks like there's no armor to the north except for this SDKFZ or SDKFZ 250/9. We have 3 Einsatztruppen, a Flammenwerfer, an off-map right off the bat, Panzer Grenadier, another 2 Panzer Grenadiers. All 3 of these deploying near the houses of the northern flag here, and the Flammenwerfer is given a fast move order to the city, or the central part nearby the church tower, and the Einsatztruppen all being deployed straight into this little field. And these 2 have not been given orders, so that is our deployment. We're going to see a very interesting beginning minutes. It looks like this STKF said, okay, now it's been given orders. Let me just make sure I'm on 1 times. There we go. Let me just fix this mouse problem. This is kind of distracting. All right, much better. We have the correct mouse. So, the Zistries, they just might unload in time for this force coming in through the middle here, but they definitely are not going to get any shots onto the south. And these are really fast transports, and they're going to get there so easily. Already taking shots from the MG42. These 4 Flammenwerfer squads are out in the open, but they're nearly in range of this Strelki DP squad. It's certainly going to probably going to pin them down there right on the spot. And 1 going for the Zis-3 immediately as well. Good support from the MG42 there, getting the Strelki DPs on the move there. And the other Strelki DP squad goes down. We have the Zis-3 engaging the SDKFZ to the bottom. To the north, it looks like the Einsatztruppen have all been routed except for the Panzer Grenadier. A really weak deployment from Loli here, putting so many points here that he's really lucky that he isn't conceding more ground to Frubblord already. The north is potentially, it could be potentially the same thing as so many Russian units are on their way, and the Su-57 also moving in to get set up towards the valley there. Looking back to the south, both Zis guns are still intact. We have a bailout and a defensive smoke from the Flammenwerfer, and we have, surely this is going to go down to the Flammenwerfer squad, and the Tiger E moving up very quickly, and just needs to be given a fast order move to really catch this reinforcement out in the open. We have an ME-410, the close air support version, going to pick off the Zis-3 gun, and it should go down very soon. It looks like the Tiger E is going to be, actually it's not, or it's on an attack move, but it's engaging the Zis-3 gun, at least it was for the moment. To the north, we're going to see Frubblord really pushing far into the city, as there is nothing to prevent the retreat. And in fact, we see them also pick up the northern flag there. Frubblord, he is losing still, but the advantage of retaining the city and having this line of this ridge, especially from this tree line here, it can't be overstated that this is setting himself up for a good while, at least until at least until Loli starts to divert attention back to the north. And we have so many units out in the open here, and not really anything you can really do about it anyways. It's not like you're going to send him out on the roads to be picked off by the tiger here. The Tiger E finally is in view of the enemy forces, but it's going to be too late as he has missed his opportunity to engage the T-34Es. Meanwhile, to the north, we see I think there were two Panzer IVs there. One of them was down there. Looks like the off-map also went down from Loli. And we have, all that's left is a Tiger E. But there is no anti-tank gun here anywhere from Frubblord, so this will at least hold out for a bit. But Loli really needs to resolve this, because this is a really dangerous situation, giving away the entire city like this. And he doesn't have any quality infantry in the area here. He could even lose this flag if Frubblord was aggressive enough with his sappers. But again, I guess the Tiger E will prevent that from happening at the very least. To the south, looks like a T-34 did go down at some point. That's not it. Don't know where it went, but there used to be three. Oh, here it is, hiding out in the forest. But the Tiger E not engaging them for right now. Maybe could turn off the HE shells and just go on an attack move. And Frubblord is also setting up the AT gun to get the flanking shot should the Tiger reveal any side armor. Loli also has sneakily taken out the point here to the north, and if he really wants, he needs to take back this point at the very least. But if he really wanted to really put it over the edge, he could rush in some infantry units out in the open here, take out these 2 points here, and this could be really decisive for Loli. But he really needs to get rid of these troops on the ridge here. That could also be very dangerous, as it's allowing this avenue of approach to open up for the Soviet side to mount anti-tank guns onto the ridge here. And was that two? I think that was only one. One of the transports goes down to the Stroke DP squads. Was that an Ersatztruppen or was that a Panzergrenadier squad? I don't know. But it seems like it might have been an Ersatztruppen squad, in which case not much would have been done anyways. I don't know what happened to all of the quality infantry that Loli has. And the T-34 is sensing no anti-tank weaponry from any of the infantry, can just go straight into the city there and mop up the rest. Not looking really good for Loli's offensive to the south. He's very lucky that he has the Tiger E's to solidify his gains for the time being. One T-34 does go down. And Loli does have the flag disadvantage right now, and this is not looking good. He has not really. He does have the position on the forest here, and he could move up his MG42 here, and give it. You know, that would be a nice nice stage for a defensive line here to prevent any further incursions to the south. So I would like to see him move up his MG42. He also has no need to bring up his Pak 36 here, especially as this one's in cover and it's inexplicably not has not moved away from the Stroke DPs. It's very lucky that Frubblord has not diverted any of these Stroke DPs more south. But I would like to see if Loli start bringing in his support weapons from the back to the front, and that could potentially secure this from the already pretty tough to penetrate Tiger line that's currently set up there. We have two Pioneers to the south. Hopefully they, I think the Stroke DPs have line of sight really far ahead of them. If Loli does not unload them far away, one of these might go down to the PTRD. I think one of them is going to unload and both of them are going to unload. We'll check that out later. To the north, seems like both players are kind of stalemated. Frubblord can't really push beyond the Tiger, and Loli does not have the infantry, or at least he's not sending the infantry in a way that's going to give them any advantage. He's kind of deployed them out in the open, and we have the 45mm engaging with the APCR. It's not going to penetrate, so I was hoping that was a 76mm gun that was going to get a flank shot, but unfortunately it was only the 45mm. But yeah, Loli has not deployed his infantry here very well, leaving them out in the open. If it weren't for these Stroke DPs, well, I'm sure they didn't want to reveal it to the Tiger, but looks like they're going to move in. These could get even more machine gun fire onto those Panzergrenz. Also, no veterancy here at all, no leaders. In fact, no leaders to the south either. And both Pioneers, or at least one of them did go down and one retreated. Very precarious position for Loli. And he is on his B phase income right now, so he should have a really large bonus currently, and it's just not working out for him right now. And these Panzer Grenadier squads are actually, well, this one is going to go definitely, but for sure this one will go down. But even these ones are not gonna make it, looks like. And Frubblord bringing in some Stroke DPs to the middle here to take back the point here that used to be his. If he just gives the one more order, and here they come out. This should be an easy match for those Stroke DPs. But Loli has been making good use of the Tiger E's at the very least, putting them in advantageous positions so that Frubblord can't really take advantage of any, or he can't really exploit any weakness in the front line, as no matter what he sends there, they're going to get picked off by the Tiger E's. So at the very least, Loli is doing that very well. But the infantry gameplay, or the infantry play so far, has not been very good. And we have one IL-2 trying to take out the Pioneer squad, and an Su-85 being brought in. I did not even catch it, but apparently this Su-57 did go down to something, but I did not catch it. And Loli bringing in some pioneers to the north and some off-map artillery. I think his best bet really is to take the hill here, and from there he has all of the angles to engage pretty much every infantry there. He just needs to decide to use the middle reinforcement route and go around this Death Valley here, as it, at least when the 45mm gun was still there, it was everything was getting picked off between the guns here, the infantry here, and the infantry in the city here. Just needs to bring these some infantry in here, take out these infantry, reclaim that point, and set yourself up for set some infantry into the cover here to fire down onto the city. But as it is right now, nothing is really working out for him in the north. To the south, it's not been very great for Loli either, as he hasn't had the infantry make it into the city to take it back. Even though there's only 2 T-34s holding it back and a Stroke DP squad. Unfortunately, I don't think these T-34Es should be engaging this Tiger, as they're the last kind of... you don't want to lose out on the sole thing that's preventing this flag from being captured by the Germans. And he's not flanking the Tiger at all. If he really wanted to, he should have sent one on each side of the Tiger, but I don't think two tanks was probably not enough, and I think this T-34 is going to go down. Yeah, a point-blank shot, but from an 88mm cannon. Wow, that was really cinematic. More infantry deployed out in the open, paradoxically, from Loli. But at the very least, some pioneers do make it to the north. And apparently some off-map came in and wiped out a bit of infantry to the north. Sorry I missed it. And almost takes out the SU-85. And in fact, the SU-85 had... Well, okay, let's look at this IL-2 bomber, if it gets any hits. And it does take out the Tiger E. But I was going to say, the SU-85 is in such a great position that because it could potentially, if it gets put on effective shot, could get the APCR shot onto the Tiger E. He just needs to be patient. But yeah, that would be the last thing that really prevents Frubblord from piercing through to the other end of the map. And yet again, we don't see the German infantry make it into the city. But he has all of this. He has at least an anchor point here of troops, so that there is some safety in reinforcing through here. So rather than going straight into the infantry at this junction, perhaps at least unload the infantry here and then give an attack move order through the city from the north, because right now they're having a hard time even making into the city, and only one of those pioneers made it out. And could this pioneer change the course of this battle, as the Tiger E did go down as well? Yeah, the Pioneer does not make it, and we're still stuck at a 1311, and this was really Loli's time to strike. He had a disadvantage of 30 points in the first phase, so that was an acceptable. It was an acceptable position for Loli to be in, but he has 60 point. Has a 60 point advantage now, and has not been putting that to use very well right now. At the very least, he still has his Tiger here holding everything in place. Yeah, and yeah, I really would like to have. I don't like seeing I don't really like seeing units not being used. So these have not been used at all this entire game, and it is slow to move them there. But at the very least, if and when they make it to their position, they're at least going to be affecting the firefight as opposed to sitting around and not having those points be used for anything. And we have an effective barrage from the off map here. Unfortunately, Loli doesn't have anything to really go in there to mop up any surrenders. And as well, there's no leader to the north. Actually, I don't think there's any leaders in this game right now. Really interesting. I've not seen. I'm sure there were leaders sometime during the I think there was Frubblord did send one in, but very funny how there isn't any leaders right at this moment. It's a good move from Loli though, that he's kind of disregarding this point here, and the main prize is really the spawn point here, and he has the superior tanks or rather he has the Tiger E, and that will certainly be enough to counter attack anything going up here. So as long as he blocks off the advancing units here, the fight for the city to the south is effectively done. You cut off the reinforcements. It's just a matter of whittling down the infantry still there. And the Su-85 is going to run out of APCR shells, and so this Tiger should have an easy time with the rest of this fight. And good AA coverage from Loli. In fact, in general, good AA coverage over the battlefield. It's just that IL-2s are just so hard to shoot down. And more infantry get unloaded towards this end of the city. At the very least, everything is kind of weak enough that he can finally start getting these infantry into actual cover. But Frubblord has finally put in an AT gun onto the ridge here, and this should have been done a long time ago. He's going to pick off this Tiger E potentially, but it just shows front armor right now, and that's not going to pick up the kill anytime soon. But it was worth a try. He almost gets the kill there. Gonna speed things up a bit here, as nothing really seems to be happening. Just an extended tank battle at the very least to the south. Yeah, maybe we'll pay attention to that. But it's really the Tiger E really shining here in its anti-tank role. And not even an Su-85 can do anything. I think that was the last Su-85 that Frubblord has in his deck. And Loli does climb back to the 1 point advantage right at this. We're kind of early into phase C. Better late than never. And he has taken out the infantry onto the ridge, and things are looking pretty good for Loli now. If it weren't for the 30-point advantage, I would give him the edge now. because this offensive to the south could be really devastating, because there is no. I'm not sure if Frubblord has any ground-based units that can really pull off a flanking, or can really pull off a penetrating shot to the Tiger E without setting up a complicated flanking shot. And this is not really the terrain to really just pull off that flanking shot in the first place. And Loli also moving in his Panzer Grenadier to get the second flag on this side. All that's left is the southern point here, and it just so happens that there aren't any long-range AT weaponry, at least not PTRDs. So these half-tracks could finally get rid of the resistance in the city, although they did get shelled by one of the Hummels. We have not seen any of the grills yet. It is Phase C, and finally we do see a grill though. And it looks like another one. That would be perfect. Perfect for this this fight here. I'm not sure what this Pack 36 is doing here. It is covering. Okay, well, it is covering. He needs to decide which Pack 36 is going to do. Well, okay, this obviously this Pack 36 has no role anymore. I guess he can keep that there, but he definitely needs to set up something more substantial on this ridge while he still has it. And now we're going to see Frubblord diverting his units from the spawn here to the spawn up north, attacking at a different angle here. And we have 3 IL-2s looking to get a kill on the Tiger. But there is just so much AA, and a great job of bringing up the AA. There's so much. There's 1, 2, 3 20mm cannons, and he still has the ME410 to pick up the kills at the very end. So very great on Loli to stay on top of the AA coverage of his really vital tanks. We're going to see Frubblord charging in with 3 T-34s and 2 Su-57s. This could... Well, the Tiger E doesn't seem to have the fire rate to really pick off the T-34s as they're rapidly closing in, and there's no supporting AT on this side. And this Tiger E could get, yeah, it's going to it could get surrendered right now, as Frubblord is very smartly rushing in his T-34s as fast as possible to get the surrender. And not even the ME410 is going to be able to change that fact. And wow, this Tiger E is going to get surrendered. There we go. I have to say that was an amazing attack from Frubblord. Really, that was like that was quintessential Soviet balls. Just not even caring about your deficiency of your tanks against the enemy, just going straight at them, rushing in and picking up the surrender. Really amazing move. And now he's opened up an opportunity to get his troops in close as possible to the city and start taking back ground, as nowhere else we haven't seen anything happen elsewhere for either player, but Frubblord does get back the ridgeline for the time being. And I think this is going to be the beginning of the end for Loli. 80 points a tick is not going to do much when you have these many TA-34s and these many Strelky DPs and these many IL-2s from from completely storming the southern side of the map. Loli did bring up some Panzer Grenadiers to the middle here. This would have been a good move during the point where he had the Tiger here, but I guess the timing was not great. Well, he did unload it. I did see from the corner of my eye, like as the Tiger E was here, that he unloaded the infantry. I just really wished he brought his Pack 36. That really would have helped the rush from the T-34s. Especially because these Panzer Grenadiers could have, well, not anymore, but with some support, could have taken this ridge and really put Loli in a great position, even so late into his Maverick income. So let's continue this at 4 times until something more interesting happens, as it looks like we're at another standstill, as this map tends to be, at least when a heavy tank division is involved. But we're going to see more T-34s, even more T-34s, and we have the cluster bombers doing their thing against the rest of the German medium tanks. Yeah, these, as good as the Tiger E's are, they don't fire fast enough to combat the horde of Polish tanks. I just realized that I've been using, I said Soviet, quintessential Soviet, but I probably should have said Polish. Like, I wonder if any Polish viewers are going to get ticked off. And we're going to see, oh, let me slow this down, a repeat of the previous engagement. This time a complete surrounding of the Tiger E. I love seeing this happen. Unfortunately, we do have a shooter here on the north not being able to fire the flanking shot. Oh, one T-34 gets knocked out, but the Tiger E gets surrendered, and I think that's going to be it from Loli. There was nothing he could, he really didn't, he really couldn't break through the city here, and he only had one avenue of approach, and once that last flank, southern flank, went down, there's really nothing holding back. He doesn't have the income to mount an offensive here, and he doesn't have the terrain advantage, especially because we have the Stroke DPs on the ridge here, and he now doesn't have any AT capabilities to prevent the advance from the Polish. And we even see some 85 millimeters being brought up. Those will make short work of the Grill and the Panzer IV. And we have 70 troops. 75? 73 Strokey going in to capture the rest of the territory here. And we're going to see it could even be a major defeat for Loli. And he finally surrenders. That's the end of the game. Frubblord does get, it looks like, about 1,000 more kills than losses. So good trade from him. The PTRS squads did get the kill on that initial off-map, but I don't think the off-map really would have helped at all anyways, as Loli didn't really send much infantry in the city in the first place to really take advantage of any stressed out units in the first place. Yeah, that's about it. You're never gonna see too much ridiculous kill deaths ratios from the first Polish, because it's mostly about the amount of units you can spew out as the Polish, but he still gets quite a good number of kills with his infantry. As for his losses, I think that, wow, we have the ME410 really doing a great job of knocking out 2, 3, 4, 6 IL-2s and the Su-57. So Loli had great plane micro, and his Tigers did their job well of holding out against the Horde. It's just he didn't have anything else to really support them. He didn't have his Pack 36s moved up. He didn't have any ground-based AT really on this game make any impact. Mostly all of the kills are coming in from his Tigers and a few of them from his tanks, but certainly not enough coming out of his infantry. But I guess that'll be it for this game. This is Metalphase signing out, and hopefully you like the game.